They are the latest club to burst onto the American soccer scene. In fact, you saw me wearing their gear on Monday's show, Sharktopus FC. They play out of a men's recreation league in Seattle, and right now they are charging through the US Open Cup qualifying rounds. A couple more wins, actually, and there's a potential for a dream matchup against the Seattle Sounders of Major League Soccer. They got a game this coming Saturday against Inter San Francisco, 10 a.m. They're at Interbay Stadium in Seattle. That's the third qualifying round of the US Open Cup. And thrilled to welcome into the show Kwame Appiah. He plays for Sharktopus FC, but some of our viewers may know him more from Love is Blind Season 4 on Netflix, which apparently is just like Herc's favorite show in the world. So Herc is gonna lead the charge on the Love is Blind questions. But Kwame, welcome to Football Americas, man. Really great to have you.
Yes, thank y'all for having me. I'm very excited to be here.
All right, so like I said, Herc is the Love is Blind fan. He's going to lead the charge on those questions. But I'm a soccer guy, Kwame, so I want to know kind of your soccer story. Before you make it to Sharktopus FC, tell us a little bit about your career, because I was reading, did I see there was a stint in Sweden somewhere, and then some of the kind of lower leagues here in the United States? I'm sure you got quite a journeyman's tale.
Yeah, I'll make it quick and succinct. So I started playing soccer super late at about 16. I was a junior in high school. And yeah, from there, fell completely in love with the sport, but did not know I'd go anywhere with it, but had a fantastic senior year. Got asked to go to Godey Beacom College, which is a little D2 school in Delaware. Once I finished my college career, thought, you know what, I'm going to go work in corporate. But luckily, a league was starting around called the ASL, which was on the East Coast. And so I said, hey, I'll go try out and see what happens. And at the time I think we had maybe 250 trialists, and they were looking for about 6 players. And I got really, really fortunate. Matt Driver, who was heading up the whole organization and team at the time, Philadelphia Fury, he walks up to me, he says, hey, you want to play for us? And I said, hey, I'd love to play for you. And so from there, kept the soccer dream alive, went to Iceland on vacation, ended up playing with the team. Another team saw me and said, hey, come play with us for a little bit. From there, I went to Latvia and then eventually ended up in Sweden. So it was kind of a lucky tale, to be honest with you, but it was one of those things where one team and one decision kept the hope alive, you know?
Tell him about Latvia, Kwame. No, I'm just kidding. Let's not go to the Latvia tales, right? Latvia nightlife. How do you connect it at Sharktopus FC? Because if you watch the show, it brought you to Seattle. When do you decide, like, all right, I want to keep playing? How do you get connected to Sharktopus FC?
Yeah, so I come to Seattle to start our filming. The moment where we move in together, if you know the show at all. And one of the guys on the team, actually our keeper, Jimmy Ford, he asked me to just come play with the team that he plays with while I'm here and filming and not knowing what I'm going to do with my life. And I said, hey, I'll come play with you guys. So I played with them my first Sunday in Seattle. I thought, wow, these guys are good. And the manager, Leo, asked me, would you want to stick around? I said, hey, I'm currently in Seattle just for work, so I might be leaving because, you can't give away the secrets. And yeah, I played with them. Game went really well. And I was here for about 3 weeks before deciding I was going to stay in Seattle. And over that 3 weeks, I think we won a championship in that league. And I thought, wow, this is the team to play for if I stick in Seattle. And so I remember the day before my wedding day, I texted Leo and I said, hey, man, I'm going to be sticking around. Go ahead and sign me on.
All right, look at that. When you're getting hitched, it's not just to a partner. It could be to a team as well. So let's talk about this game on Saturday. Huge, huge game on Saturday. You're playing at International San Francisco. It's the third qualifying round of the US Open Cup. It's at Interbay Stadium. Anybody in the Pacific Northwest, if you're near Seattle, get to Seattle, Washington for this game. It's a 10 a.m. start, so early in the morning out there on the West Coast. Kwame, what kind of level are we talking about here? And then what kind of atmosphere can people expect? Like, is it going to be a good time watching Sharktopus FC? If I'm going to a Sharktopus FC game, I figure I'm in for a good time, right?
You're in for a great time. The atmosphere is fantastic. One tradition we keep going is our fans wear pink because our original color was pink. And, as you've seen, our kind of breakthrough must-have kit is pink. And so, yeah, we have an awesome tradition going. People show up. People are lively. The fans, the atmosphere is really great. And I will say, like, the level of soccer you're going to see is pretty amazing as well. Like, I'm definitely, like, very honored to be on this team. It's a bunch of scrappy, incredible, like technical and talented players. So I think you're going to see a great game. I think you're going to see a scrappy game all the way down to the end. And, hopefully Sharktopus puts another win in there, and then we'll talk from there.
Those kits are fire, by the way, Kwame. Hey, listen,
Aren't they?
Jimmy Ford, who you mentioned, the goalkeeper, he was in Love is Blind as well, but his story arc didn't actually make the final cut. It's one of those things I'll tell you about later, Sebi. Listen, you guys are 2 wins away from playing the Seattle Sounders, a Seattle on Seattle game. I mean, for a bunch of you guys that have played soccer your whole life, a few guys have made it to the show, whether domestically or abroad. Like, what would it mean to play the Sounders for you guys?
Man, it would mean the world to us. It's funny because throughout our season, we would go to Sounders games together, right? We'd all show up. We'd all cheer for the Sounders. We'd all have our Sounders kits on. And so just being part of that atmosphere, seeing that level and seeing the players that we look up to who get to do this for a living, being in that same even bracket, even in some way, some comparison, even if it's not something we're going to be doing on a long-term or consistent basis, just getting that one chance to do it would really mean the world to the team. I know that for sure. The guys will be talking about it for the rest of their lives. It's one of those moments where when it does happen for you, you make sure that you talk about it to all of your friends, all of your family. So it would really mean the world to us. And I think that that's our aim. That's our goal, is that we're showing up every single game to make sure we're making it to the next game. And when we get to that game, that's when we're going to know all of our hard work's paid off.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, Seb, I'm a reality junkie. Like, when it comes to reality TV, I'm a junkie. Love is Blind, back to Blind Date in the 90s. Like, I've seen it all. Can I just, for a brief second, can we unpack what Love is Blind is for Sebi? Because my man right now is doing diapers. So imagine speed dating and you can't see who you're trying to date, okay? You can't see a potential partner. And then they increment the time, and you're in pods, and eventually you land on your chosen partner, and the deal is you could either get engaged or not, okay, without seeing your partner, okay? We gotten that far?
Got it, yeah.
All right, we go. So, Kwame, my question to you is, once you finally get to see your partner, once you finally make the biggest decision of your life, you're going to get engaged, you're going to get married, you get to see your partner, you get thrown into the real world. You're both in Seattle. What's the most difficult part about being thrown into the real world with your now Chelsea beautiful partner?
Yeah, it's got to be integrating our lives together in every way, right? Because when you come together, it's not just hey, now you get to both live at your own places and slowly build up like you do in real life, right? When you start dating someone, it takes you, I don't know, anywhere from 6 months to a year to move in together to figure out how you can integrate. And with Love is Blind, it's just, we woke up and it was flight back to Seattle, and it was go grab everything that you own, bring it into this house, and live together. So all of your furniture decisions, your closets, the way that you structure things, the streaming networks on your TV, all of that happens in the flash, in the blink of an eye. And so, yeah, the crazy quick integration of life it's shocking, but it's definitely worth it.
Herc, you think I don't know about reality television, but I have the voicemails that prove this. I was almost on The Bachelor about a decade ago. But do you know why they ended up not choosing me?
Height.
Literally, I was talking to the producer. Great conversation. She's loving me.
Is it for real?
Goes, how tall are you? I said 5'9". Crickets on the other end of the phone. I guess. It's true. It's true. Kwame, last question for you. More pressure or more nerves before a game or before a taping of Love is Blind?
Depends on when. I will say, so two-part. The pressure and the nerves before any game, especially in the US Open Cup, I would say very, very high, like very, very high. But the highest pressure and nerve moment ever, maybe in my entire life, top 3 for real, is the reveal moment of Love is Blind. When you first get to see your partner on the other end, you are just shaking in your boots the whole time. So anytime someone asks me about nerves and Love is Blind, that's the number one thing. And I've asked every cast member, and they said, yeah, without a doubt, that's one of the most nerve-wracking moments in their entire life.
Made it through that. U.S. Open Cup third qualifying round shouldn't be a problem then. There it is, Kwame Appiah of Love is Blind. Herc, you got one last question for us here?
No, I just noticed he's wearing a Chelsea jersey. Is that for your wife, or are you really a Chelsea fan?
You know, I've been a Chelsea fan ever since I supported the game. And we have an inside joke. When we were in the pod, she told me that her dad, who was a big, avid soccer fan, she told me that he named her after the soccer team. And so that's kind of when I knew. That's kind of when I knew.
Nothing to do with Michael Essien, because I know you're Ghanaian.
For sure. But yeah, big Chelsea fan in both ways.
There he is. Kwame Appiah, great to have you with us here on Football Americas of Sharktopus FC. Good luck on Saturday against International San Francisco in the third qualifying round of the U.S. Open Cup.
Thank y'all so much. So grateful to be here. Appreciate y'all.